The ring stand. This is a very versatile and important piece of equipment that we're going to use a lot in lab or in some of your design situations for stability and for a few different specialty usage. Now it's called a ring stand because traditionally we put a ring on it, and since the ring, and that's kind of how we do. But if you notice, it doesn't really just like stick on. The type of rings that we have are going to be used by doing a particular universal clamp. Well, the way these are designed is they have three different wing nuts that are able to go in and be able to adjust. So for instance, this one here allows you to rotate the items. Normally these are at 90 degrees so that you can rotate and have one, and tighten it up here, have one that slides down the ring like this, the ring stand I should say, and then you tighten this puppy up, and that should give you a nice stability that way. And notice though it easily kind of rotates this way. Then you put your ring on the top one. Now you have to make sure you kind of screw this one out enough so the ring can fit back in here, and hence you have a ring stand now has a ring clamped to it. And that's kind of how it's used. Now sometimes you like to use it like this, where you can have the stability, or if you want to, you can rotate it this way and say, hey, this actually gives me some stability over there. It doesn't always have to be over the base. Just remember that you do create a lever arm here, and so it's a little bit unstable like that. It tends to get a bit more stability on top, but it all depends on your apparatus, how you set it up and what you want it to serve as. So in this case, once you kind of tighten them up there, get all those things tightened up. Now this, sometimes what we use, if we have for instance a burner underneath it, we might choose to put some of those ceramic gauze on it and have it hold that way. That way, when we put a burner underneath it, we're able to go ahead and it distributes the flame evenly. So if we wanted to have something heating up, we could do that. Now for us, we really aren't going to need to use this kind of apparatus because we would rather just say, hey, why not just put this on a hot plate? It's a lot safer and it's less likely to go. So this is how it's set up, but in our lab, I don't know too many times we'll actually use this, but it's nice to know how it's set up. Now, the other thing we can use this for instance, is we can put a triangle or a ceramic triangle. This is very helpful when we're trying to heat things to high temperatures using something called a crucible. This sits in here nicely into the ring with the triangle, and now we can heat this to high temperatures. This is actually a setup we could possibly use if we're dehydrating, for instance, a particular crystal structure. We can heat the heck out of it and drive the water off, and this keeps it all nice and safe. So this would be a very typical outlet, what you can do. Now remember, this is a versatile situation, so you can heat with it. You can also use it to hold a funnel. That works great for that too. Again, it's a very flexible type of setup. The biggest thing to remember is be sure that when you're setting it up, just think of the stability and where it's going to be sitting. Also a reminder that when you're done, it is your responsibility to be sure that you disassemble everything, take it apart, slide it up, and return it back into the appropriate drawers. Also realize that the ring stand doesn't have to be used just for a ring. We can use other type of clamping ones depending on what the need is. This one, for instance, goes great around the neck of a flask, for instance. That will go great and hold that one there. This one is what's called a universal one because it can do small things or larger things, and we just screw this one down and we can hold or stabilize lots of different sized items. Now it's the same principle though. You're going to have to put this one on the ring stand, leave it there, and then this one just fits into the other slot like this. Now it's a little bit larger, so it's going to have to come out just a bit, but there again, now you've got your clamp. The only thing about these clamps is you also have an additional one here where you can rotate that and get it to the desired angle and then tighten it up so it's at whatever angle you need. So again, remember, ring stand, very flexible, great for bringing stability and stabilizing apparatuses. When you're done, be sure to disassemble, return everything back in its proper location.